Hello and welcome to the bonus episode of Pokemon FireRed Delta. This is going to be a bit different from the previous episodes, as I promised in the last episode, I'm going to be making a tier list of every single fully evolved Pokemon in this ROM hack. But first, I should introduce you to our little friend here. This window that you're seeing in the bottom right is known as Yet Another Pokemon Editor. It is the tool that I use to edit the stats, typings, and move pools of every Pokemon in the game, and I will be using it to show off the stats of every Pokemon. So with that said, I put together here just an example tier list for Gen 3, and this will be the basis of my ranking for my fan-designed Pokemon. I'll be using these stat thresholds as kind of a benchmark for the average for each tier, and I'll be ranking my Pokemon based off of a hypothetical meta where only they exist. So I'm not going to be like, oh, Venusaur is one-shot by Heracross, Brick Breaks, NU Trash, because I'm not going to be considering Heracross since it doesn't exist in the ROM hack. It's just these 79 Kanto Pokemon, fully evolved. So that said, let's get right into it. So the first one we have is Venusaur. I'll be frank with this one. Venusaur, as you can see here, pretty balanced stat distribution, nothing more than 100 really. It has 100 attack, which is solid, 100 defense, which is alright, 85 HP, not negligible, but at the same time that Rock Steel typing is going to hurt it a lot. We've seen that with Aggron. Slow defensive Pokemon with a bad defensive typing and no reliable recovery. Rockhead is kind of a nothing burger of an ability. As you can see, it gets Double Edge to take advantage of that. But it's not going to be setting up anytime soon and then sweeping a team. Like, it doesn't get rock polish in this gen, so it can't even run that. If it got Head Smash, like if Head Smash with Gen 3 move, I would have given it to Venusaur and it would, have a claim to fame, but as it stands now, I don't think Venusaur is going to be leaving RU anytime soon, unfortunately. Charizard is pure fighting, and it does get access to some pretty cool tools. I mean, Guts is always a good ability for fighting types. We see that with Heracross and Machamp, who use Guts to good effect. 110 attack is nothing to scoff at. 100 speed is pretty good, especially for Gen 3. It gets access to some good coverage moves. Actually, it doesn't get access to that much coverage. It gets Earthquake, which is always a solid option, but, I mean, this is Gen 3, so no close combat. It does get Dragon Dance, which I think is interesting. I mean, Dragon Dance is always a solid move to have, and it is Gen 3, so it is pretty sparse in distribution. I think Charizard would be a solid OU pick. Even though there is no Flame Orb or Toxic Orb, I think being able to absorb status like that is pretty useful. Moving on, we have Blastoise, who, if you watched my playthrough, you'll have seen that Blastoise is an incredible rain Pokemon. Flying electric, but it gets access to water-type moves like Surf. It learns Thunder by level up, Hydro Pump in case you like the risk. The flying type off of 97 attack is not going to be negligible. 96 special attack, I mean, it is a mixed attacker, you can easily run mixed sets. If Skarmory existed, which, I mean, there is a flying steel type that I'll get to later, but it would be really good at hitting the flying steel with Thunder, and any grass resists that try and come in on Thunder get destroyed by Air Cutter, which is unfortunately its best flying type move. Not very strong, but a surprise crit could be good. It does have good synergy with Rain, so I think I'll put Blastoise in I think it'll have a niche in OU. I think it would be a good OU pick, because there are good Rain setters, so I think Rain will be definitely a solid meta choice. Butterfree, this thing has 385 base stat total, pretty bad. I mean, Compound Eyes is an okay ability, but it doesn't really have anything to take advantage of that. The best it can do is like Status U, and it gets some support options with Heal Bell and Light Screen. I mean, realistically, 45 attack, this signal beam is doing nothing. 90 special attack, yeah, like it gets Whirlpool, it doesn't get Surf, it gets Water Pulse. Like, this thing is not hitting hard, it's not taking any hits. Yeah, this thing is Butterfree. I'm sorry, Butterfree, but you are not the man. you are PU trash. I'm sorry. Alright, next on our list, we have Beedrill, who by contrast, I think, could actually possibly do something with its 385 base stat total. Like, 100 attack is solid, 70 speed is pretty bad, but Bug Steel is one of the better defensive typings out there, and 80 defense is not negligible, so this thing has some okay natural bulk. With battle armor, it's not going to get crit either. It gets the buffed Leech Life, Swords Dance, and Meteor Mash, which is kind of an insane combination. I don't think this has the chops to be OU with Sun teams running around, but I think it might be a solid pick in UU. Or no, it doesn't have that good bulk, no access to reliable recover. I'm putting in RU. Okay, next is Pidgeot. So Pidgeot, 470 base stat total, not the worst, not the best. I mean, Flying Ground, we've seen that effectiveness with Gliscor and Landorus. Unfortunately, it is no Gliscor. It has Shield Dust as its ability, which, you know, solid ability, like, can't be flinched by Fake Out, for example. 85 speed is alright, 90 attack is okay. Realistically, though, it's not going to do much. I mean, it can boost with agility, but it's not pulling off any sweeps with Stab, Wing Attack. Earthquake for Stab is nice, but it's just not hitting that hard. It doesn't have any way to boost. It doesn't have good support capabilities either. Like, what are you going to do? Mud Slap? It can spread Toxic. It can, I don't know, learns Reflect like everything else in the game. I just don't think Pidgeot offers much. Maybe if you need both an electric immunity and a ground immunity on the same Pokemon for some reason on your team, then it might be good, but otherwise, I don't know. I don't see Pidgeot moving past NU. Even though, you know, that 470 is higher than what you would expect of NU, I just don't see it happening. So next we have Eradicate, who is unfortunately normal ice. This thing has a 4 times weakness to fighting, 415, pretty horrendous. Base stat total, 99 speed means it just barely gets outsped by the base 100s out there. 80 special attack means it's not really doing anything with its ice type moves. 81 attack is barely any better. It can use Stab Return. Clear Body is pretty much a nothing burger ability, like it can't get intimidated, and that's about it. Like, it has no defensive utility. Ice is one of the worst defensive typings in the game. It doesn't have any support utility, no interesting sets, no variability. Like, I just don't see this thing doing anything realistically. Yeah, unfortunately I'm gonna have to put it in PU with Butterfree. Even though I am a ROM hacker, I can't work miracles. I can't make the Gen 1, Route 1 generic archetype Pokemon very good. Fearow, Flying Poison, right? We've seen that typing in Crobat before. There is another Flying Poison Pokemon in this game, which I'll get to later, who outclasses Fearow in every way. 102 speed is definitely solid. 93 attack is a bit middling, but ultimately, I mean, a Sludge Bomb or a Drill Peck will probably still hurt a bit. It's got Toxic, it's got no reliable recovery, which is pretty common in Gen 3. I mean, Recover is the only recovery move, right? You don't have a Roost or Shore Up or anything like that. Poison Point is a solid ability to punish contact moves. There is no U-turn though, so that's definitely going to hurt it. It can't punish U-turn and it can't U-turn itself. I don't know. I think it would be solid. Maybe, like, I don't know. Maybe it would be good in RU. Maybe. What is base stat total? 445? Yeah, that's about what you would expect of an RU Pokemon. I think I'll defer to the averages when I have when I'm unsure. Arbok has been changed to Pure Dragon, so it's definitely more solid with defensive typing than Pure Poison, has more meaningful resistances that it can switch in on. It gets the excellent Intimidate ability, and if you want to run a Rest set, it gets Shed Skin to facilitate that, which I think is always an interesting combination. 90 attack, I mean, its bulk is pretty bad, 60 HP is pretty bad, 85 speed is kind of middling, but it does get Dragon Dance, which is always nice to have. Iron Tail, I don't really see it using. I mean, there are no fairy types in this game. Poison Tail might be an interesting utility option to spread poison. Dragon Breath, you can fish for paralysis, but it gets Glare, so it gets Glare and Dragon Dance. We've seen that kind of combination on Zygarde, of all things. Very annoying to deal with. At the very least, you are going to get paralyzed, because electric types are not immune to paralysis in this game. This is Gen 3. So I think it might be solid. Like, it definitely is a very annoying Pokemon to deal with. I'll put it in UU. I don't think it has the bulk to last in OU, but it is going to be a solid threat in UU. So Raichu, you might think, pretty bad automatic PU trash, but that 475 base stat total is deceptive because it gets huge power as its ability. 70 attack is pretty middling, but huge power turns any attack set into something workable. Like we've seen that with Azumarill. Right, I can actually... Azumarill hasn't been changed, so I can compare that. Azumarill has 50 attack, so Raichu is hitting even harder than that. And we all know how difficult Azumarill can be to break through. It doesn't get Belly Drum, thankfully, but it does get Extreme Speed, so you will have to deal with Stab, Huge Power, Extreme Speed. Shadow Punch hits any ghost types that are immune to Extreme Speed, and Double Kick, or I think it gets Brick Break as well. Or maybe I thought that would be too overpowered. No, it does actually get Brick Break, so this thing has everything it wants. It doesn't even need a fourth move, but by level up it gets Swift, I don't know, like it gets something. Like you could probably fill that fourth move with like Rest and give it a Chesto Berry. Yeah, I think Raichu is going to be super busted. I'm not sure what I was thinking when I cooked this up, but you can literally get it on Route 1. Yeah, I think it's going to be OU. Like, Raichu is definitely a solid choice in this game. So Sandslash is probably one of the better counters to Raichu. It gets really good defense. Rock Ghost makes it immune to its normal in fighting, so it's left with just Shadow Punch to hit Sandslash. 55 speed is pretty bad. Like, this thing's not outspeeding anything anytime soon, but its bulk is solid. 100 attack stat is nothing to sneeze at either. Shell Armor means it can't be crit. Let's see, 455 base stat total is kind of mid, but then again, Rock Ghost is a pretty solid offensive type, or offensive combo. So you can spam Shadow Ball and Rock Slide pretty easily. It gets Boomerang for coverage. Does it get Earthquake? It does get Earthquake. Strength is a Rock type move, but Rock Slide is better. I don't know. I think it would have some solid defensive utility. If Sand gave Rock type moves, or Rock type Pokemon a defensive boost like it does in later gens, I think it would be really solid. But unfortunately, I think that special defense is just too weak to cover up. I'm gonna put it in UU. I think it could be a good, like, slow stall breaker though. Even though it gets nothing to boost, it can curse to break stall. Nidoqueen is a psychic type. Trace is kind of like a hit or miss ability. It's an ability that depends on how good your opponent's ability is, but you can swap in on like a Water Absorb or Flash Fire Pokemon and get an extra immunity, or a Levitate Pokemon, get an immunity that way. 90 HP is alright. 90 special attack is kind of okay. 80 speed is kind of middling. It doesn't really have any particularly standout stats. It gets Luster Purge, which I think has been buffed. Heatwave and Morning Sun, so it does get reliable recovery. So like, kind of non-negligible bulk, plus reliable recovery, plus moves that hit really hard. It gets Calm Mind as well, Perish Song. I think this is going to be a really good support Pokemon. Like, if it got Wish, that would be insane. It doesn't get Wish, thankfully. That would be kind of crazy. Yeah, I think this is going to be a solid OU pick. Next is Nidoking, who has been turned to pure fighting type with Inner Focus. Can't be flinched, but we've seen that with Shield Dust. Shield Dust is just a better inner focus. 98 attack is solid. It doesn't hit that base 100 threshold. 85 speed, kind of middling. Like, it gets high jump kick and Mega Horn. That's definitely not to be scoffed at, especially since Mega Horn covers its Psychic type weakness. Moonlight also gives it reliable recovery. Fake Out is always a good move to have. Like, it gets Spike Cannon, which is a Steel type move in this game. Recycle, you could possibly get up to like some Citrus Berry shenanigans for recovery if you, I don't know, maybe like a Lychee Berry, maybe? Bulk Up lets it do something. I don't know, I think it's solid, but that 55 HP, wait no, I'm looking at Nidoran. That 75 HP, it's not the best. 77 defense, also not the best. It's, I don't know, I think it would be solid, but not quite the OU staple that I think Nidoqueen would be. I think this would be in UU. Alright, so Clefable is pure grass. We saw Junimo right in my playthrough. This thing is a chlorophyll Pokemon, so it would be a staple on some teams. Does it get Weather Ball? It does get Weather Ball. It gets Weather Ball and Petal Dance. If you don't want to use Petal Dance, it does get Giga Drain. Right, but it gets Aromatherapy, Leech Seed, Sing, Cosmic Power, Synthesis. Like, this thing has everything you'd want in a Weather Pokemon. I think it would be... It's like the perfect choice for Sun teams, pretty much. This thing is great. I will... Dang, I accidentally pressed Control-C instead of Control-V. Yeah, I think this would be great in OU. I think it would be a solid Sun team pick, especially with all the Sun setters. I mean, both of the Sun setters in this game. Ninetales is one of the 2 Rain setters in this game. It gets Drizzle, it's an electric type. We saw Miko in my playthrough. It gets Thunder, so it can set its own Rain and then spam perfectly accurate stab thunders off of an admittedly kind of mid 87 special attack, right? But 100 speed, 100 special defense gives it some pretty good special bulk to deal with, and it can outspeed a lot of things. Vulpix gets Will-O-Wisp, so it can spread status too to shore up its, you know, pretty bad 70 physical defense. Substitute gives it something to work with as well. I mean, I don't think Safeguard is going to be useful for anyone, but Light Screen is always an option. It's good at support. It can dish out damage if need be. I mean, I think Ninetales has proven in Gen 5 that it can be a good Pokemon if you need to set weather. And Alolan Ninetales is also exactly the same. It fills the same niche, right? So, you get pretty bad physical bulk. So, Wigglytuff is also normal Psychic. It's competing with the same role as Nidoqueen was, right? But it gets access to Hidden Power for, I mean, everyone gets Hidden Power, right? It gets Magical Leaf for coverage, Mist Ball, and, I mean, no one's using Hyper Voice, right? It has, we're talking about a Pokemon with 55 attack, 80 special attack, not great. I mean, its really standout qualities, it's huge HP. Natural Cure can give it some utility, like it can be a status absorber for your team, but even then, I don't know, I just don't think it has the support move pool that it would want. Like, yeah, you can keep off spikes with Magic Coat, you can rest off a status and then, or you can rest off your HP and then switch out with Natural Cure. I think that's a pretty good combination. Ultimately though, I think it's going to be too passive to do much. Although it does have, you know, the standard Gen 1 normal type coverage move pool of like Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, so it can do a lot. It has a lot of options for moves. Definitely more of a support Pokemon, but I think that's good in and of itself. I don't think it's going to be OU, especially with Nidoqueen competing for that role, but it will be a solid UU pick, I think. It has 425. That's a bit low even by UU standards, but I think its support move pool makes up for it. Golbat, 466 base stat total. I mean, it is a flying ghost type, so you get a lot of immunities. You get the ground, the fighting, and the normal immunity. Soundproof makes you immune to roar, but I mean, it doesn't really get baton pass. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Like, 91 speed, pretty good. You outspeed all the base 90s. 85 attack, kind of mid. I don't know, Poison Fang for coverage, definitely a good option. You could spread status that way. Air Cutter is going to be his best flying type move, which off of 85 attack is not going to be doing much. Shadow Ball, I mean, it's a good stab option, but every ghost type gets Shadow Ball. It needs something to make itself stand out, and I just don't think it has that. Yeah, unfortunately, I think Golbat, let's see, 466 would put it around RU to UU range. I think it would drop to RU. I don't think it's standing in OU, especially when it competes as a ghost type with Sandslash. Next we have Vileplume. We saw Nuvolette do numbers in our playthrough. This is a Water Dark type with Swift Swim. So it gets Stab, Surf, and Knockoff. It also gets Weather Ball. Moonlight gives it reliable recovery. Refresh means you can cure your own status. Acid Armor allows you to boost Fake Tears. Haze allows you to stop sweeps. I mean, Swift Swim is always a good ability to have. We see Kingdra working numbers with it. I think this would be a great OU pick. Yeah, I mean, I'm of the opinion that Rain and Sun are going to be the dominant team archetypes. So any Rain abuser is going to be good. Parasect, I mean, there's no point in lingering on it for very long. 30 base speed with very middling defenses. 100 attack is alright, but it's Parasect. Like, it's not going to be living hits, it's not going to be dishing out damage, it's not going to be sweeping teams. Even with Swords Dance, Leech Life, you know, it gets both Spore and Nightmare, so it can perfectly sleep you all the time, and it can put you in a Nightmare. It gets Shadow Ball for stab off of its 100 attack, but man, it's so slow. It has a bad defensive typing. Everything's hitting it super effectively. It's bad in Sun. I just don't think it's going to be doing much of anything. So unfortunately, I'm probably going to put it in PU. Yeah, it just doesn't have that many redeeming qualities to it. Unlike Venomoth, who definitely has something to work with. I mean, normal electric, kind of a weird type combination, right? It's not going to be doing anything with its normal typing. It's more of a hindrance than anything, but it does give it a ghost immunity. 90 speed is kind of okay. There are a lot of Pokemon competing for the 90 speed tier, but 90 special attack is alright, but more importantly, it gets access to Tail Glow, which is always an insane setup move to have. If it could boost its speed, that would be crazy. But as of right now, it gets Pursuit to trap the ghost types that it's immune to. You can Giga Drain and Thunderbolt. That's really all it needs. Like, Tail Glow is just a crazy setup move. It gets Light Screen for support as well. And Hidden Power can shore up its coverage wherever it's lacking. I don't think it would be OU. I don't think it's fast or bulky enough for OU. But I do think it would be, what's base stat total? 450? I think it would make it to U. I think it would survive in UU. I mean, Tail Glow is always a crazy move to have. Doug Trio. We've seen how bad Doug Trio without Arena Trap can be. When we got Alolan Doug Trio, even that better defensive typing in Ground Steel could not save it from dropping. But Intimidate is also a solid ability. 115 speed is always good. I mean, Doug Trio is crazy fast. 80 base attack, pretty mid. Earthquake for stab is alright. Like 80 special attack, you have the stab combination of Earthquake and Knockoff. You can set spikes if you want. I don't know, like it gets Baton Pass, but it doesn't get any meaningful boosting moves to actually pass. Like it doesn't get Bulk Up or anything. I don't know about this one, to be honest. I mean, fast ground type that also has the utility of Knockoff and hits hard on both the physical and special sides sounds like a good idea, but I just don't think it's going to hit hard enough for OU. What is its base stat total? 435? Ooh, that's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's also weak to a lot. Like, it's weak to Fighting, Bug, Water, grass, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put it in RU. It's just gonna have to be the imposter sitting there. So we got Persian, who is another fighting type. What is that? Our third fighting type. Vital Spirit means that it can be put to sleep. So it's great as an absorber to Spore, just in case it ever falls to PU. 110 speed is great, but it actually has a good attack stat, unlike Dugtrio, to support that. Its bulk is kind of bad. Pretty poor bulk on both the physical and special sides. It's definitely more of a fast sweeper. And to support that, it does get Sword Stance. It gets Brick Break, Super Power in case you want to bust out a nuke, Fake Out, Ancient Power for coverage. Strength is also a rock type move in this game. I think it would be pretty solid. Yeah, I think it would be pretty solid. 440 is pretty bad. 440 base stat total is like RU tier, but Sword Stance is always good enough to justify putting on someone's move pool. So I think I will. I think it would be in UU. Especially since it counters Venomoth. I mean, it can probably do something against Dugtrio, like Hidden Power, Bug, can hit Wigglytuff. I don't know, I think it would do something in you. Swords Dance is always considerable. You always gotta be afraid of a Swords Dance sweeper, potentially. Especially one with that high of a speed. So Golduck. Water, Fighting. Poison Points is a very solid ability to punish contact moves, which, I mean, it can kind of do with its 75 defense and 80 HP. It's got okay natural bulk. 85 speed we've seen is pretty bad. There are a lot of base 90 speedsters out there. Water Fighting, I mean, Poliwrath used that typing to not very much effect. I mean, it gets Poison Tail for coverage on the grass types that would want to switch into its water type moves, but I mean, 85 special attack, you know, you can run Surf for coverage against something. I don't know, Cross Chop is always a good option if you like Risk. I don't know, I just don't think it sets itself apart enough. No boosting moves, no reliable recovery, can't take advantage of the rain very well. I think it would be kind of just like a mid-mixed attacker. Yeah, RU, unfortunately. 500 base stat total, though. What do we have in RU so far? I mean, it beats Venusaur. It could probably brute force Beedrill with Surf. It beats Dugtrio. Maybe it would be UU. There's not much it can do against flying types, though. Like, Fearow kind of walls it. It can't even be poisoned. Golduck can't hit Golbat. I don't know. It's hard to say. Primeape, though, I think would be pretty good. Like Shadow Tag is always a busted ability. Absolutely insane. If Shadow Tag gets banned, Primeape would be Ubers by default because it gets no other ability, but even without Shadow Tag, like 105 attack with 95 base speed, kind of crazy. Like 85, 70, 80 defenses, it's not negligible. Shadow Punch, Cross Chop, Shadow Ball, Bulk Up. You can run Resto Chesto on it for recovery. I think Shadow Tag alone gets a ban to Ubers. I think we have our first Ubers Pokemon. So Arcanine is pure normal with immunity. Not the best ability. I mean, it's very situational. If your team is somehow really afraid of getting toxic, maybe Arcanine would be a good option, but it has very high base stat total, so high stats all across the board. Maybe it's special bulk. No, its special bulk is fine. It has 100 HP and 90 defenses. 95 speed, pretty good. 100 attack means that its extreme speed is going to hit very hard. It gets access to Hyper Voice for an alternate stab, just in case you're worried about power points. Double kick, not the best. I mean, does it get much in the way of coverage? Iron Tail, Earthquake is always solid, though. Yeah, not much else in the way of coverage. I mean, you're not going to be running special attacks on this thing. But nevertheless, I think Stab Extreme Speed we've seen work to really good effect with Dragonite. Howl is not nearly as effective setup move as Dragon Dance, you're kind of stuck using Extreme Speed, but we've seen Dragonite work that to a really good effect. Dragonite doesn't really care about the +1 speed from Dragon Dance because it's just going to be using Extreme Speed anyway, so I think this would be a solid OU pick for sure. Alright, Poliwrath is pure Psychic, so it's not a fighting type in this game. Synchronize is kind of an okay ability for it. I mean, its speed is pretty bad, but its bulk is solid. 95 special attack is pretty good. Psychic gets, I mean, of course it gets Psychic, right? But it gets Magical Leaf and Flame Wheel for coverage. It's kind of mid-coverage, to be honest. Flame Wheel is not the best move. You're not going to be bringing Flame Wheel to a competitive match, right? But it does get Calm Mind for support. Hypnosis can be kind of tricky to deal with sometimes. Overall, I don't know, it's hard to say. I mean, Thunderbolt is good coverage. Yeah, it doesn't really get much. It is competing, there is a lot of competition as far as psychic types go, like we've seen Nidoqueen, Wigglytuff, right? 500 base stat total. I mean, with this bulk, it could potentially, you know, do some solid work with Calm Mind. I think it would be a solid UU pick. Alakazam in this game is pure grass with Limber, so it can be paralyzed, right? 490 base stat total is pretty solid. 120 speed is absolutely insane. 135 special attack is crazy, but as a consequence of that, it gets really bad bulk. Like 85 special defense is okay, but 55 HP is just horrendous. It's going to be knocked over by a gust of wind. It gets access to Leaf Blade, Calm Mind. You can fish for sleep with Grass Whistle. You can Synthesis. It gets reliable recovery. Not that you're going to have any HP to recover off of. But Trick is always an interesting move to mess with your opponent. You could like trick a Choice Band onto something. What else? Hidden Power can shore up its poor coverage options. It doesn't get Giga Drain for some reason. That might be an oversight on my part. Solar Beam means that it can be a potential Sun abuser. Stab Solar Beam is going to be hitting really hard. I mean, Pure Grass not the best offensive or defensive typing, but I think you'll be hard-pressed to survive a crazy Leaf Blade boosted with Calm Mind, so I think I'll put it in OU. I think it would probably be good on some teams. Machamp is an Ice type, but it's not a Hail abuser. Like, if it got Snow Warning, if Snow Warning existed in this gen, I would probably give it to Machamp, among others. 130 special attack is insane, but it's slow, it has a bad defensive typing, and its bulk is only alright. I mean, Fake Out is a good move to have in doubles, but not so much in singles. Ice Punch, Ice Beam, it gets Yawn for support. I don't know, I think it would be an okay support Pokemon, but against all the Sun teams and the Fire types running around, I just don't think it's going to be that effective. Like, it doesn't really get much in the way of coverage. It's not fast, it can't set up, it can't boost. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just going to have to put Machamp probably in UU. I mean, I don't think it's that bad. Like, it does have a high base stat total, so it's like, it's got okay natural bulk, right? And that 130 special attack is going to be really good for it. A Victory Bell is the only Sand Setter. It's the only Pokemon in the game with Sand Stream. So it's the only one capable of turning the tides on both Rain and Sun teams if you don't want to fall into either of those archetypes. It's got 105 attack, always solid. 100 defense is also pretty good. It might be able to live a super effective fighting or ground type move. I mean, that rock ground typing pretty bad. We've seen that on Golem and, you know, Rhydon, Rhyhorn, Rhyperior. It gets Earthquake for stab. It gets Rock Slide. It also gets Slack Off and Rapid Spin, and Spikes. It's got a really great combination of support and offense. And it can reset the weather. So I think that's pretty important. I think this would be like a Hippowdon type thing. And Hippowdon is really good in OU. Or has been really good in OU for some time. So next up is Tentacruel, who is pure bug. I mean, Swarm is an okay ability, like 80 offense, 80 attack, it's not going to be doing much with that. 120 special defense is really good, 90 HP is really good, 100 speed is pretty good. It gets access to reliable recovery, it gets access to the boosted Leech Life Mudshot for coverage is alright. Let's see, Toxic by level up, not really that impactful when I'm considering this from a competitive lens. Doesn't really get much in the way of coverage though. Doesn't even get Rapid Spin, which is kind of like Tentacruel's normal thing. I don't know, I just don't think the bug type is going to be that impactful. Like, realistically, it wouldn't even get Sticky Web, right? Because it's based on a beehive and bees don't make webs. So, I don't know. Most of the competitive bug types we've seen have been Sticky Web or Quiver Dance based, and this is neither. So I just think that historically, it wouldn't be able to prove itself to be very good. But I think it might be good in UU. Probably. Hopefully. I mean, those stats are pretty good. Like, that's an okay stat distribution, but it's not going to live like a super effective Rock Slide. Let's see, Golem is Firegrass, which is a pretty interesting defensive combination, right? Same as Scovillain. We've seen Scovillain fall to complete mediocrity in Gen 9. Even its Mega Evolution is pretty controversial. 88 speed is, I mean, it's going to be outsped by all the base 90s. We've seen there are quite a few of, but 110 special attack is really good. Flash Fire gives it immunity to fire, so it turns one of its neutral matchups into an immunity, which is pretty good, and it also strengthens its own fire type moves. I think it might be a good Sun Pokemon. It gets Fire Punch and Giga Drain, I think. Yeah, Fire Punch and Giga Drain, really good. I mean, you can always explode in the face of something you can't kill, and this is Gen 3, so it is the boosted, the defense having explosion. Flash gives it natural electric type coverage, so if you want to run like 2 stabs, Flash, and Hidden Power, something like Hidden Power Water, I don't know, spray grass. No, you don't need Hidden Power Water. What do you need? I don't know. Whatever Hidden Power you want, you can. I don't know, it might be a good Sun Pokemon, probably. So I think, I don't know, would it be good in OU? I think it would be good in OU, like it's a Sun Pokemon that's neutral to water. So Rapidash, Ghost type, Pure Power, so that's like automatically something to watch out for. We saw how much I struggled with Agatha's Rapidash in-game. 85 attack stat is crazy. It's going to be even stronger than Raichu. 105 speed means it's outspeeding almost everything unless you're Swift Swim or you're literally Dugtrio. Mega Horn to defeat Psychic types or Dark types, more importantly, that want to wall you. You have Double Kick for fighting to also defeat Dark types, but more accurately. Shadow Ball is just a nuke. You really don't need any coverage moves. Try Attack in case you want to fish for status. I don't think this needs any further elaboration. Like, it's super fast, hits super hard, not even that frail. Yeah, it might be our second Uber. I don't know. There's not much that can take it on. Even Resist struggled to live ahead. Slowbro though, rough skin, so it punishes contact. Dragon typing is pretty good defensively, like, it's super slow, it's not outspeeding anything, and there is no Trick Room, but it's got really solid HP, really solid defense, and special attack is pretty good. It even gets Dragon Dance, but I think you'll need like 2 or 3 Dragon Dances before you can really start outspeeding things, but it does have a really good coverage move pool. Thunder Punch and Fire Punch are always a good combo to have. Slack Off is great, it even gets Ice Punch, so it gets all 3 elemental punches. Dragon Claw for stab. I mean, it is slow, it is a bit passive, it does rely on setup a little bit, but like Dragon Claw, Slack Off, Dragon Dance, and like one coverage move, like that's a pretty good option right there. Yeah, I think it would be like a solid, OU pick. Okay, Magneton gets speed boost, right? Speed boost, I mean, on 60 base speed, after 1 or 2 turns, you're gonna be outspeeding a lot of things. You're gonna be outspeeding a lot. So Levitate is also an excellent option in case you want to turn your ground type weakness into immunity. 120 base attack is really solid. The only thing you're missing is HP, so like you've got okay physical bulk on the defensive side, but that HP is really going to cut into its longevity. You can boost your defense with Iron Defense. I think that would be a wasted move slot though. As far as your move options go, I think Meteor Mash is really going to be a stable pick for Magneton, but aside from that, it's looking kind of barren. You can't boost your attack. Can you Earthquake? You can Earthquake, alright, so it gets Steel type and Ground type offenses. That really does cover a lot. I think the guessing game of if it has Speed Boost or if it has Levitate is going to be pretty significant, like when you see it on matchup. Actually, there is no team preview, but on the first turn, when you don't know if it has Levitate, I think it's going to be pretty impactful. Like, it does take on... It can take on the grass-type moves that we've seen are prevalent, but it can't take on Golem's fire-type moves. I don't know. Would it be OU? 465 is not really OU tier. It's barely UU. I don't know, though. Speed Boost plus Levitate? I don't know. Something... I want to keep it in OU, but realistically, I don't know. I just don't think... I don't know, 100 attack though. I'm struggling with this one in case you can't tell. Yeah, I'll leave it in OU. I would like to think that it remains in OU. It is our first Steel type in OU that we've seen so far. Actually, yeah, it's our first OU Steel type. Not speaking of OU Steel types, FireRed is also pure Steel type. 400 base stat total, I don't think it's doing anything. It's got low speed, a low attack, like, if Magneton was UU, then FireRed would just be like PU trash. Steel type is better, at least defensively, than its usual normal flying, and Meteor Mash is a solid option. I mean, Sword Stance and Agility, that's alright. Knockoff is purely coverage, like, it's not going to be hitting anything with its 58 special attack. Aerial Ace for coverage. Like, it literally has dual dance. That's 2 move slots right there. But on the other hand, what else are you gonna do with those 2 move slots, right? I don't know. I just don't think its bulk is going to let it set up a Sword Stance and then the agility that it also needs to sweep. It's really a like pick one or the other, but if you don't have both, then you just don't lack. You don't have the impact that you want to make a big enough dent in the opponent's team. I think this is just gonna be NU. 400. Yeah, it is in that NU range. Dodrio, on the other hand, is a good Steel type. Like, it gets Magnet Pull, so it can trap Steels, but unfortunately it doesn't have anything in its kit to defeat Steels. Like, it doesn't have a Fire type move. It does get the crazy Volt Tackle. Like, 80 special attack is already kind of okay. Like, we've seen others in that range before, but Volt Tackle just has such high power that you might be able to get like a Kamikaze style KO as 60 HP. So if you do commit to Volt Tackle, you are committing to basically lasting like 2 or 3 turns on the field. But Drill Peck is solid coverage, like Steel Wing is alright, and then you have good electric type moves. More importantly though, 100 speed is really good and 100 attack is really good, so you can hit something with the Steel Wing. Steel isn't the best offensive type though in this gen, because there are no fairies running around. Magnet Pull though is more important though. I think Magnet Pull is going to be what carries it to... maybe not OU. I mean, it is 4 times weak to ground. it is weak to fire from all the sun teams running around, so I don't know. I think it's gonna be a solid Yu-Yu pick. Alright, Dugong. Water grass, so it's 4 times resistant to water. We've seen how high its special defense is in the playthrough. So its bulk is alright. Definitely solid bulk. I mean, 90 special attack is okay. It can hit with Surf and Giga Drain, I think. Yeah, Giga Drain here. But that's pretty much it. Like, it doesn't do much. Icy Wind on Synthesis, though. That's actually good. I mean, it gets good speed control, good recovery. This might be better than I thought. Serene Grace also is a good ability. I just don't think it can actually do much. In Waterfall, you can fish for flinches with its 70 base speed after using Icy Wind. I think it's situational. Body Slam, though, can be good for paralysis. I think it's a 60% chance to paralyze after Serene Grace. I don't know, this thing's kind of surprising me, actually. 475 puts it right around the Yu-Yu range, so I think I will go with that. I think that's pretty appropriate for where it is. Even though Synthesis, I mean, Synthesis on a Sun team would kind of have anti-synergy because you're a Water type, so you're cutting into your own stab there. I don't know, Muk, actually, speaking of Sun teams, is a Chlorophyll Pokemon. So if you're running a Sun team, like this thing actually has good speed. Natural Cure, if you're not running a Sun team, means that you can recover from status. 105 special attack is really good, 105 HP is really good, and it has really good special bulk, so I think, yeah, Weather Ball gives you access to a fire type move on a grass type, which is always nice to have. You can, like, you can hit a steel type, potentially, that tries to wall you, or fellow grass types. Leaf Blade for coverage, or Leaf Blade and Feint Attack for stab. Does it get knockoff? No, it doesn't actually get knockoff. I thought I would have given it knockoff, but that's fine. I mean, it doesn't get pursuit. Feint Attack isn't very good, but you can growth. I think that's what's more important, really. I don't think growth is boosted. I don't think it raises your attack and special attack by 2 stages like it does in later gens in the Sun. But it is a solid Sun Pokemon nonetheless. Cloyster, Steel Ice, pretty defensive typing, like 4 times weak to fighting, you're weak to ground, you're weak to fire by 4 times. Lightning Rod turns your electric neutrality into an immunity that boosts your special attack, which is alright. I mean, it's always nice to have a free immunity, right? 160 defense is crazy. Yeah, I think Cloyster's claim to fame in all of its gens was Shell Smash. It gets Spikes, it gets Clamp, Ice Beam, Spike Cannon to take advantage of its attack, which is a Steel type move in this game. Yeah, its move pool is kind of barren, if I'm being fully honest. I mean, it already is a Stone evolution, which are infamous for having barren movesets, but this is just... ouch. Yeah, I don't think it's realistically doing much, but it could be a good wall. Like, even with its weaknesses, I think it's going to have a niche in Yu-Yu. It does get trapped by Dodrio, but it actually counters Dodrio perfectly because it can switch in on an electric type move, and it's not really that threatened by steel type moves with that high defense. The only thing it has to watch out for is fighting type moves, and hidden power fire, really. Gengar we've seen, I mean, I don't even need to elaborate, like, it's literally the mascot of the game. We've seen how well Cold Front did in my playthrough. Flying Water with the rain, it sets its own rain with Drizzle. I mean, it gets a Weather Ball, that's just kind of crazy right there. You can use Thunder, just like we saw Ninetales do. Hypnosis if you want to fish for sleep. 105 speed is crazy, 120 special attack. I don't think it needs further elaboration, really. I think it might... I'm tempted to put it in Ubers, but I don't know. It's at the very least OU, that's for sure. Onix, I don't want to spend too much time on Onix. Like, Ice type is pretty bad defensively. Doesn't really do anything. Like, it can't hit anything hard, and it gets good defense, but nothing to take advantage of that. Like, it doesn't spread status. Like, I don't know. Even with 65 special attack like Dragon Breath, you can fish for paralysis. Weather Ball, you're not doing anything. It's not a hail Pokemon. Hail is not good in this gen. It doesn't get perfectly accurate blizzards. I'm sorry, Onyx, but you are PU trash. You are doing nothing. You go on the field, you sit there, and you die. That's what you do. Hypno, on the other hand, 500 base stat total, pretty good. 115 special defense, really good. I mean, it has pretty good bulk. Normal type, not the best defensive typing, but it is solid. Pressure, you can PP stall. Immunity, you're immune to poison. Right, but this thing gets Calm Mind, Pain Split, Baton Pass, Psychic, Swagger to potentially psych up a boost and then pass it to someone else. Blaze Kick for interesting coverage. I mean, I think this is going to be a really good support Pokemon. Does it get Wish? Yes, it gets Wish. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You can use that as a very solid support or pivot option. I think it'd be a solid OU pick, to be honest. Kingler, Shadow Tag. I mean, what more do you want me to say? Like, it gets 130 attack, so it can hit really hard with Shadow Ball. Its 80 special attack is kind of middling, but I mean, it gets Psycho Boost and Crab Hammer, which are already kind of insane. I mean, it gets Cosmic Power. Its defenses are not worth boosting with Cosmic Power, although it has really high special defense. Actually, I forgot about that. Yeah, I think Shadow Tag is enough in and of itself to push it to Uber, even though it's competing with 3 other ghost type. All the Pokemon we have in Uber thus far are ghost types. I should have given something Arena Trap just so that we'd have something else in Ubers, but Electrode, 120 speed. I didn't want to change that part of Electrode's identity. It has, oh yo, speaking of trapping abilities, Arena Trap, normal type, not the best typing, but let's see, 105 attack is really good. I mean, yeah, you can trap something and then just explode on it if you can't kill it normally, but Body Slam and Shadow Ball, Destiny Bond, yeah, I mean, I think it's self-explanatory why this thing would be in Ubers. So of all the Ubers we have so far, we have 3 ghost types and 3 trapping abilities. Okay, that's nice to see. Anyway, Executor is Pure Fire, gets Drought, mid speed, really good special attack, okay HP, so it's got pretty solid bulk on the physical side anyway. I think it is going to be the better Sunsetter. There are 2 Sunsetters in this game, but Morning Sun means that it can heal and keep the sun up throughout the entire game. Mirror Coat is going to be an interesting coverage, like maybe you want to risk switching it on a water type as it does something, and then like Mirror Coat a water type move, maybe? I don't know. Solar Beam, I mean, it can set its own sun and then use Solar Beam. I think it's going to be a really solid OU pick. I might have to expand the tier list because we're getting too many good OU Pokemon. I might have to make another page here and then consolidate them. Marowak, we're not going to have to worry about doing that soon because I think pure fighting with Limber, I mean 55 speed, 85 attack, it's really not making that much of a dent in anything. It gets really good coverage moves to hopefully like shore up its poor stats, but even with Swords Dance, I think the coverage of Mach Punch is nice, but it's just not naturally powerful enough to hit much of anything. Although 450 puts it around RU, I think I'm going to put it in UU. Like, I think it counters enough. Like, it gets Aerial Ace for coverage, it gets Shadow Punch to maybe, like, catch a Psychic or Ghost type on the switch. So I think I'm putting it in UU. Okay. Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan are interesting. I made them Ice and Fire types. Hitmonlee is an Ice type with Thick Fat, so it actually 4 times resists Ice, and it is neutral to Fire, which is interesting. I mean, Ice is pretty bad defensively normally, but hopefully with 1 less weakness, it'll be alright. I mean, 87 speed is manageable, not the best. 120 special attack is really good, and it does have really good special defense. It gets Calm Mind, Fake Out. It's not using Jump Kick, not with that attack stat. Moonlight is really good for coverage. Power Song is an interesting support, or to stop a sweep. Blaze Kick for coverage. I mean, it gets Ice and Fire type coverage. Crab Hammer for Water type coverage as well. I think it'll be worth using, just not in OU. I think there are too many Sun teams running around. Although it could be used in a Sun team itself, maybe use like Blaze Kick. But yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be solid in OU. So next is Hitmonchan, right? It's a fire type with Blaze. So this might actually be a better Sun Pokemon, even though it's pretty slow. 105 special attack is not as high as that 120, although it has the same special bulk. Yeah, same HP stat, which is pretty bad. Pretty bad HP. It gets Dragon Dance though, in case you want to boost your speed. You're not boosting your attack with Dragon Dance, be clear. It gets 70 attack. Revenge, I mean, Revenge and Mach Punch, Reversal, Sky Uppercut. You can kind of almost do something interesting with Dragon Dance, but maybe like run a Dragon Dance set with Overheat to make use of your special attack, just in case you run into like a, I don't know, physically bulky Pokemon, or maybe like a Grass type. But yeah, to be clear, I don't know, I think it's just too anti-synergistic with itself to be good in OU, but it might be solid somewhere else. Maybe UU, maybe RU, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think there are no fire types thus far in UU, so I'm putting in UU. Lucky Tongue, on the other hand, it's low. It's okay. Like, I mean, it's just Hitmonchan but worse, right? It's slower. It doesn't hit as hard. It gets Eruption, but I don't know. You're gonna get outsped by everything. Like, even if there was a Choice Scarf, it wouldn't help you. You're just gonna get outsped. You're gonna get hurt, and then Eruption isn't gonna hit as hard. You can Dragon Breath. You can Heat Wave. You can Yawn. Knockoff is always a good support option. I just don't think those are enough for UU, and its stats are bad, so I'm putting in RU. 435, yeah, 435 is like definitely RU range. Wheezing, Poison Psychic with Levitate as usual, so it's got the ground immunity there, which is pretty nice. Very solid defense, but not much else, so it is very slow. Doesn't hit very hard either. Toxic, I mean, everything gets toxic. Psychic and Explosion, like, it's got, like, it can do something, for sure. I just don't think it's going to be very good. I just don't think what it does is very valuable. It kind of gets on the field, poisons something, maybe lands a Sludge Bomb, which does get by TM non-naturally, and kind of blows up. That's it. Let's see, it's got 490 base stats. Even with that, I don't think it would be UU. Maybe it would be UU, but it's just competing with two other Psychic types, and that Poison typing is not going to be all that good. Rhydon, on the other hand, is Water Absorb and Swift Swim, so it is a really good Rain Abuser. 40 speed though, even with the Swift Swim, I don't think it's going to be outspeeding much, but 130 special attack is kind of insane. Like, it gets Ice type coverage, it gets Hydro Cannon in case you want to nuke, it gets Slack Off and Water Spout, so you actually might be able to use Water Spout with some efficacy. It has 45 attacks, so that Mega Horn is not doing anything. I probably should have given it Crab Hammer instead, but Surf is already powerful enough. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's competing for Swift Swim with Nuvolette, the Vileplume. So yeah, I think it'll be UU. I'm not just putting in OU. I'm not just putting it in UU because I don't think it'll be UU. But yeah, I just don't think it's gonna be that good in OU. Next up, we've got Chansey, normal type with Thick Bat, so it does get 2 additional resistances. 165 attack is crazy. This thing is like Rampardo's tier attacker. We all know what happened to Rampardo's, right? Or like it's got the infamous Rampardo's theorem named after it. 100 HP is really good, but like it's slow and it's gonna get knocked over by a gentle breeze. So I don't know. Soft boiled, like I don't know. It's more of a joke Pokemon than anything, right? So I'm just gonna put in RU. Like it's not living hits, but it's dishing them out. That's for sure. Tangela, 490. I did buff this thing significantly because there was no Tangrowth. And you get Tangela pretty late into the game anyway. Grass Ground, kind of an okay typing, right? But it is 4 times weak to Ice, 3 to Bug, Flying. It's got really good defense and pretty solid special attack. So we can use Giga Drain, Earthquake for stab just in case you need to hit a Steel type or a Fire type. It's got Leech Seed for support. Counter, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of slow though. Even though it's got 490 base set total, like it doesn't increase your team's defensive synergy against rain teams. It's bad against sun teams. It can't stop sweeps. Rough Skin punishes contact moves, but I mean counter will let you hopefully stop like a physical sweeper. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it is good, maybe it's a good support Pokemon. I think I will tack it onto the list of UUs. So I'll have to expand the tier list and make room. I will do that and then I'll come back to you. Okay, and we're back. I expanded it slightly. So our next Pokemon is Kangaskhan, who is Steel type. Sturdy is a good ability in Gen 5, but before Gen 5 it doesn't actually stop you from getting one-hit KO'd, it only stops one-hit KO moves, which I'm just assuming will be banned. 90 speed is okay, 95 attack is pretty good, it has pretty good natural bulk. More importantly though, it gets access to Edgequake coverage by level up, it gets a fighting type move in Sky Uppercut, which isn't the best, isn't the worst. Fake Out is always pretty good. Not the best move pool. Yeah, it's not using any special moves anytime soon, that's for sure, but I don't know. I think it's gonna be pretty solid. I mean, Steel type is always good typing, right? Battle Armor means that it can be crit, so its defenses really are gonna be pretty good. I think it's gonna be a solid OU Pokemon. Not OU, I think it's gonna be a solid UU Pokemon. I think it was actually UU in Gen 3, right? But yeah, too many fire types and Pokemon with fire and fighting type coverage running around in OU for it to survive there. Seadra, pure water. I don't know why I thought it was water poison in my playthrough, but Torrent, I mean, it's alright. Special attack is definitely okay. Poison points covered to punish contact moves. Yeah, I mean, it gets agility and Dragon Dance, but realistically it's not doing anything with that attack stat. Like, maybe you can Dragon Dance and Poison Tail? Hidden Power something? Reversal, maybe? I don't know. Dragon Dance is definitely a gimmick. I think mostly... I don't know, maybe you can like Dragon Dance, Poison Tail, Water Stab to make use of your special attack and cover something. Cover like a rock, ground, or steel type that resists your Poison Tail. Poison Tail, definitely not the best coverage move to be relying on. Does it get Sludge Bomb? Yes, okay, so you do have that Poison type move at the very least. Yeah, I just don't think it has the... like, Dragon Dance is always incredible, but I don't think it has the offensive pressure that it wants. Kingdra was really good for Swift Swim, so... I just... yeah, it just doesn't live up to the expectation of its Gen 2 evolution, so I think I'm putting it in RU. Even though I'm pretty sure I did buff its stats right. 475 would put it right around UU. But in UU it's competing with other water types, and it can't really distinguish itself from them. Speaking of not water types though, Seaking is a fire type with Levitate. So that's cool. It turns its ground type weakness into an immunity, which is always nice to have. I mean, I would say that it would be good on Sun teams, so that it would also get rid of its water type weakness, but it's so slow. 68, not very good. Not very good speed. 97 special attack is pretty good though. So with moves, we've got Spark and Flash for electric type coverage. Doesn't get Thunderbolt or Thunder. It gets Knockoff for coverage, always good. Flamethrower, Blast Burn in case you want to nuke, and it can boom. Pursuit is pretty good. I mean, you could kind of try traveling a ghost type. Yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. I mean, 450 would put it right around the UU-RU range. I think it would be in RU, even though it's got to fear Doug Trio. Yeah, let's put it in RU. Starmie, on the other hand, Poison Psychic. It's a mixed attacker. It's got really good speed. I mean, Poison Psychic, that's kind of a good defensive type, not as good as Poison Dark, where you'd only be weak to ground. You're also weak to Ghost and Dark. But it gets Luster Purge, Hydro Pump, Moonlight for reliable recovery, Rapid Spin to remove spikes. I mean, it can hit with Sludge Bomb on the physical side. Cosmic Power in case you want to boost your defense. Destiny Bond to be annoying all the time. I think it's very solid. I think it would definitely have a solid like anti-meta pick against Sun or Rain teams. I think it would be solid for sure. Probably a solid OU Pokemon even. I think Starmie's always been good as a rapid spinner, so if you give it a slightly different defensive type combo, I don't think that would hurt it all that much. Mr. Mime, Psychic Dark. Interesting combination. It's got the same defensive type combo as Hoopa Unbound. So it's only weak to Bug, which is 4 times weak to. But there's no U-turn to be afraid of, right? There are only the sparse Bug types and like whoever's running, I don't know, Single Beam or Leech Life as coverage, although I don't think that's very many Pokemon, so most of the time it's going to have no weaknesses. It gets Psychic, it gets Crunch for excellent stab options, Knockoff for utility. This is unboosted Knockoff. It is 65 base power, but it doesn't increase in power if you actually knock off an item. Light Screen, Reflect for support. I mean, it gets Trick for support. Baton Pass. You can Baton Pass a substitute or a Calm Mind to someone. I think it's going to be a really solid support Pokemon. Baton Pass, I don't know. Baton Pass I think was banned in Gen 3. So maybe I won't factor that into its effectiveness, but even still, it is a pretty solid Psychic type overall. And without that many fighting types, I mean, your premier fighting type in OU is Charizard, which probably isn't going to be on every team, so a lot of the time you're not that scared of fighting types who can hit you hard on your lackluster defensive side. I mean, it's got kind of middling bulk, to be fair. 465 would put it around UU. Maybe I will put it to UU. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that support actually aspect is good enough to put it in UU. In OU, rather. But it is competing with Nidoqueen. It is 90 base speed. Yeah, I don't think that's fast enough. There are a lot of 90 base speed Pokemon in this ROM hack. Scyther, Rock Bug, we've seen that it looks like Cleavor. Shield Dust is an okay ability. I mean, 115 attack is really solid, but 90 speed, we've seen how many 90 speed Pokemon there are. There really are a lot of them, but it gets Swords Dance, Rock Slide, and Leech Life, which is a solid offensive core. Like, it can boost itself, it can outspeed the slower Pokemon, And Leech Life is good recovery. Does it get Earthquake for... It doesn't get Earthquake. It's Dig, though, in case you want to use Dig as your ground type move. Wing Attack, maybe? Slash? I don't know. It's kind of got the 4 move slot syndrome, but Hidden Power can always shore up Lackluster coverage. I think I will put it in UU. So once again, I'll have to expand the tier list, but I don't know. I can just do something like that. For now, Jinx, Pure Steel, Soundproof, not that great of an ability. There aren't that many sound-based moves. 115 attack is good, but all of its other stats are kind of meh. I mean, Meteor Mash, Perish Song, Doom Desire, which is 140 base power. It gets Mach Punch, it gets Meditate, but not Sword Stance, right? So I don't know. Kind of hard to say, right? I mean, Vital Throw, is that really a good fighting type move? It gets Brick Break. I don't know. I just don't think it distinguishes itself. Steel is not that good of an offensive typing, and it doesn't really solidify itself defensively. I think it would be an RU even. 455 puts it in that range. I think it'd be good in RU, but not beyond that. Electabuzz is pure normal. I gave it Hustle, which I know is a controversial ability. Like Durant with Hustle was kind of annoying in Sword and Shield, right? When it can Dynamax and boost itself with like Max Steel Spike, whatever. But 100 speed is really good. 100 attack, 105 attack is solid. I mean, its bulk is mediocre, but more importantly, with Hustle, it actually gets moves that it can take advantage of with Swift, Vital Throw, Shadow Punch, and Aerial Ace, which are all moves that never miss, right? So you can fill up your moveset with like a Return, Shadow Punch, Aerial Ace for coverage. It's really a gimmick. It really is gimmicky. I don't think, even with 500 base stats, I just don't think it's going to be that good. It doesn't really distinguish itself offensively. Like, yeah, 105 attack with Stab, like Swift or Return. It's really powerful, but you've got Raichu. And there are a lot of Steel types running around. I don't know. Vital Throw, I think, has -1 priority, so you're going to be struggling to hang on, really. Yeah, I think it's going to be an RU menace. Like, it's going to be really good in RU, but not above that. Magmar, Poison, Pure Poison, Stench, no competitive use. So Liquid Ooze, you're going to be able to punish Leech Seed or Giga Drain, really. Maybe the odd Leech Life that gets thrown around. Signal Beam for coverage against Dark types and Psychic types that want to come in on you, but realistically you're so... I mean, 93 actually isn't that slow, actually. Perish Song is an interesting choice. Will-O-Wisp is always good to have. Sludge Bomb off of 100 base attack, actually. That's pretty good. It has good special defense. I don't know. Do I see this thing being an OU? Maybe I do. There are a lot of grass types in OU that can use Giga Drain. How's the bulk looking? 72 physical bulk is not very good, but its special bulk is alright. Yeah, maybe this thing does get to OU. Yeah, maybe. Alright, Pinsir, Pure Dark. Pressure, 85 special, or 85 speed, right? That's not very good, but you have solid physical defense, a pretty bad HP, but 125 special attack is really good. But you get Tail Glow. I don't think a Pokemon this powerful has gotten a boosting move this powerful since Xurkitree. Like, Xurkitree gets Tail Glow and Beast Boost, so I think Pinsir is kind of in that same vein, but like Xurkitree, it's kind of slow and kind of frail. And Xurkitree never actually made it that far. Like, Xurkitree kind of relied on, like, what was it? Z Hypnosis, or, like, Blunder Policy Hypnosis to get the speed that it needed to actually sweep. And so I think we're going to see that here with Pinsir. Even though Dark is probably a better offensive typing than Electric, since you can't just get stonewalled by a ground type, you can actually do something against them, but fighting types that come in on you, you can extra sensory. There aren't that many bug types, so I think it would fall in the way of circuitry. I think it would be a really powerful RU threat. So Tauros, we've seen is kind of like Paldean Tauros, right? Fighting, ground. It doesn't get Raging Bull, unfortunately, as a ground type move, but it does get Earthquake and Superpower. I don't know. Intimidate is always a good ability. 100 speed is really good. It has really solid attack. Pretty good physical bulk, especially after an Intimidate. I think, let's see. Yeah, I think Tauros fell off after Gen 1 because of its normal typing that really didn't give it much to do. But with Intimidate and actually a good offensive typing, I think it would be OU. Okay, we're left with not that many Pokemon, so hopefully I won't have to expand the list again. So Gyarados here, ground type. We've seen how crazy Gyarados is, how crazy Scourge was in the playthrough, right? 105 HP and 125 attack are really good, so it's going to have really solid bulk. And its defenses are not negligible either, like 80, pretty much 80 and 90, not bad. And it gets Sand Veil, so this is going to be an absolute menace on Sand teams. Sand Veil was banned in Gen 5, so I think Sand Slash, which only got Sand Rush and Sand Veil, two banned abilities, just got banned to Uber by default, even though it has no business being in Ubers. 81 speed, kind of mid, but it does get Dragon Dance, so automatically this thing is going to be crazy. I think it will be Uber, just by default. But it's not going to be a slouch in Ubers either, like, this thing's actually powerful. Lapras we've seen as Dragon Fire, right? Marvel Scale, kind of a middling ability. Like, it can boost its somewhat mid defense if it gets paralyzed, but it can't get burned because it's a fire type, right? So it's either gonna get paralyzed or poisoned. Kind of situational. 60 base speed, pretty bad. I mean, you've got some solid bulk, especially on the special side. Very good special attack. Now that I look at it, you get Sacred Fire and Outrage, two insane moves. I don't know, I think that might be enough in and of itself to put it in OU. It also gets a Will-O-Wisp to spread a status, Perish Song to stop sweeps. Just get anything else. I mean, you can always bolster with Hidden Power, right? Yeah, I think this would be OU. I mean, it gets no access to reliable recovery, right? So that would definitely be a hindrance for it. But even still, it's kind of powerful. Ditto, I mean, I'm not spending any time on Ditto. The only thing I gave Ditto was a water typing, more HP, Water Absorb, which is a good ability, and Imprison. So, like, theoretically, you can imprison something, and then if your opponent has no idea what that move even does, you could transform and then lock them into struggle, but I think Ditto is not worth considering on any team without Imposter. Oh wait, no, not Eevee. Let's go to Vaporeon. So the evolutions were changed, so Vaporeon is a flying type now. It gets access to airlock, so it can disrupt weather potentially, but I don't. Let's see how effectively it can do that, right? 110 attack is really good. It has good HP, so its bulk is kind of okay. I mean, its defenses are middling, right? But 105 speed is great. So it's got good longevity, good attack, good speed. Aeroblast is a really powerful move. Hyper Voice to hit some things neutrally. I mean, I don't really know what Aeroblast doesn't hit that Hyper Voice does. But yeah, I think like most evolutions, its main problem is going to be that it has a barren move pool. So it's going to be powerful, for sure. Maybe it would be in UU? I mean, it gets wrecked by Venomoth, for sure. But it does counter the fighting types, the bug and grass. There are a couple fighting types here, actually, another grass type. I mean, it thuds into Dodrio. It can't do anything against Dodrio. But nevertheless, I think it would be in Yu. I'm gonna have to expand the tier list again. Hold on. I will be right back. Okay, and we're back. I kind of organized the tier list a little bit. I realized that yet another Pokemon editor probably blocks off a lot of the screen, so you can't actually see the tier list, right? But let's see. Yeah, if I just do that, you'll see the current progress, the current state of the tier list. Yeah, so we're running out of space in UU still, but we only have a handful of Pokemon left to go. And I have a feeling that these legendaries and Dragonite are not going to be in UU. So I think it's more important to see the stats than to see the tier list as it's in progress. So next we have Jolteon, right, who is a bug-type. Compound Eyes is an okay ability, or it would be if it actually had anything to take advantage of it with, but I don't know. Megahorn definitely gets a good bonus from Compound Eyes for sure. But 110 attack is really good, 110 speed is really good, but middling defenses, and its only real claim to fame is that somewhat more accurate Megahorn. Double Kick could like fend off Rock or Steel types that want to switch in on you. But yeah, like all the other evolutions, it's got a mid move pool, and Bug is a lot worse of an offensive typing than Flying. So I want to say it would be in RU, but I mean, I don't know. Like, it doesn't really hit anyone in RU. There's Steel, there's Rock types, there's Flying types, there's Fire types, Poison. I think RU is too powerful of an offensive and defensive landscape for a bug type with no coverage. Even though it's got really good stats, I think it's just not going to be doing all that much. I don't know, it really hurts to put Jolteon in NU. Let's think about this, right? Like, what in RU is it hitting? Like, Venusaur, okay, it can hit with Double Kick. But, I don't know, it's just so frail on the defensive side. It's not switching in on anything. It can barely hit anything. I don't know, it kind of hurts to put Jolteon in NU, but I think I have to, if I'm being honest with myself. Flareon, Rock Cutter. Hyper Cutter means it can't be Rock and Hyper Cutter can't be intimidated, right? 130 attack is really good. 65 speed. I mean, we've seen that Chansey has more attack, just about the same speed and more bulk. It's got really good physical bulk, and it's got Edge Quake coverage. No, it doesn't. It has Dig as its ground type move, which you're not really using, right? So it has Rock Slide, and you might be able to throw Hidden Power Ground on it. But yeah, it's not doing much. I think this is another NU Pokemon. Really sad to see the evolutions rounding out NU. I think out of the three, I think Flareon is probably my favorite design, just because the Obsidian. Porygon is a water type, again with Serene Grace and Swift Swim, but like we saw with Rhydon, 40 speed means you're probably going to be outsped even under the rain. 110 special attack is pretty dang good. Once again, Rhydon I think was higher, but really what distinguishes it from Rhydon is its Serene Grace, right? So you could probably you could try Fishing for Paralysis with Dragon Breath, Flinching with Extra Sensory, and Surfing to pick up the KO. Very gimmicky strategy. You're probably not going to be pulling off most of the time, and I think it's just a weaker Rhydon, really. But it is a single stage Pokemon, so we have to give it at least some credit for that. I think this is going to be just an NU. It's not really hitting much in RU. Like, even though there are a lot of fire types in RU, and Dugtrio is also weak to water, I don't know, I think it's just too slow and not bulky enough on the physical side. I mean, you can definitely run this as a special wall, but yeah, I think it's just going to be an NU, unfortunately. Omastar is the only other drought Pokemon in the game, but if you don't want to run it as a drought Pokemon, you can run it as a Water Absorb. It's turned its 4 times, weakness into an immunity that heals it. So it gets access to 2 incredible abilities for it. It gets really good defense, and really good special attack, but just like utterly horrendous speed, right? So you can set your own sun, use Solar Beam. You can potentially, like, Flamethrower. Does get Flamethrower, right? Yeah, it gets Flamethrower by its EM. So you can Flamethrower, Solar Beam to make use of your really good special attack. You can run Ancient Power or Strength for coverage. I think it still gets Rock Slide, probably. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. I think as far as sun setting goes, like, it's going to be outclassed by Executor every single time. So I'm putting in Yu. I think this is going to be the only weather setter in Yu. I think that's just how powerful weather setting is. Kabutops is Rock Bug like Scyther that we saw earlier. Swarm is kind of a middling ability, but 95 is a pretty good speed, especially when you have so many base 90s sitting around. 110 attack is pretty solid. 105 defense is also pretty good. I mean, 60 HP leaves your defenses kind of lackluster, but it gets access to Strength, Signal Beam. Where's Sword Stance? It doesn't have a Sword Stance, okay. Yeah, that's kind of lackluster. I mean, this is really just going to be kind of like a somewhat different Scyther, except Scyther does get Sword Stance and Leech Life. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to have to put Kabutops pretty low. Where did I put Scyther? I put Scyther in Yu. I might have to put Kabutops in RU. 500 base stats, yeah. Yeah, I think even RU, it's fine. Okay, Aerodactyl, right? Flying Electric, Volt Absorb. We've seen Flying Electric be an incredible type combination on Zapdos. Both defensively and offensively, it gets Volt Absorb, so it can't be... So it loses one of its neutralities. Kind of like Kilowattrel. Rockhead, I mean, Rockhead is kind of like a taunt, right? Like, haha, look at me, I should have Brave Bird and Head Smash on regular Aerodactyl. But, I mean, it can get Double Edge, right? That's pretty much all it's doing with that attack stat. Unfortunately, it can't make use of its electric type moves very well because its special attack stat is only 75. It doesn't get Thunder Wave to spread status. It gets, it gets Thunderbolt. Yeah, it gets Thunderbolt. Volt Tackle is crazy on it, which, you know, Rockhead, you can use Rockhead Volt Tackle. I think that's really interesting. I almost forgot about that for a second. Yeah, I think that alone is going to be fun to use, if not kind of gimmicky, but you don't get any flying type moves better than Wing Attack, not even Air Cutter. So, I'm not sure where to put this thing, honestly. I think it might be in... I don't know, I think... Oh man, if it had any better special attack, I would put in OU. Should I put in OU anyway? Just... Like, what is it hitting? I think it's going to be good on rain teams, actually, because it's got 125 speed, which is kind of insane. So it might be able to... I mean, I haven't calced this, honestly. This might be a bit intellectually dishonest of me, but... yeah, like, it might be able to outspeed something in rain, maybe? I'm not sure. This might be a bit dishonest of me, maybe I'm doing this just because I like Aerodactyl, but I think Aerodactyl will be in OU, I hope, anyway. So Snorlax is pure electric, it still has incredible HP, really good attack, solid special attack. I mean, its base stat total is just very high, very good special defense. Its only flaw is its speed and its lackluster physical defense. So it's definitely crumbling to an Earthquake, that's for sure. But it gets access to reliable recovery and slack off, a strong stab, Thunder Punch, Thunder Wave to spread status, Covet to potentially, you know, like steal an item. That's kind of a niche thing. Yawn, I think really what Snorlax has always been lacking is that reliable recovery. So I think if you give a Pokemon with this high of an HP and this high of bulk on the special side of reliable recovery, I think it's going to be excellent. I think this is going to be a solid OU pick. So now we get into the legendaries, right? So Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno. Starting with Articuno, it's a ghost flying with a white smoke, so it's kind of not really much of an ability. Really, all this amounts to is immunity to Intimidate. 105 attack is really good, 100 defense. I mean, it has no stat that's just straight up bad. Like its special attack, it doesn't care. It's not going to be ever using it, but 85 speed is okay. More importantly, it gets Air Blast and Shadow Ball. It's like a solid dual offensive core. Destiny Bond is okay. This is Gen 3, so it will never fail if you use it consecutively. Steel Wing, I guess for coverage, if you want to like hit a rock type that switches into your Aeroblast. Overall, is it Uber's material? Probably not. I mean, there's too many Drizzle Pokemon or like Blastoise spamming Thunder running around, even though its special defense is really solid. Like, I think Articuno, I don't know. I mean, Uber's is just filled with the ghost types, right? So I think it's going to have stiff competition there, especially since it's 85 base speed and 100 defense just means that it might end up getting one-shot by a lot of these ghost types and Ubers, so I think it's going to be OU. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to expand the tier list yet again. I planned for this really poorly. Zapdos, though, Steel Flying, very solid defensive typing as we've seen with Skarmory, and I foreshadowed it earlier in the video. 125 attack is very solid, 100 speed is incredible. It gets access to Doom Desire, I mean, kind of niche move, right? But Steel Wing and Aeroblast make up your offensive core. Thunder Wave to spread status. It gets access to no reliable recovery, unfortunately, but we saw how Zapdos has always been kind of good, and I think giving it Steel typing is only going to make it better. Rough Skin is also a really good ability. Just as good as, if not better than, Static. So for that reason, I think I will put Zapdos in Ubers, especially since Zapdos kind of walls all of these Pokemon, right? Like, Steel is resistant to Ghost in Gen 3. Right, so all these Ghost types kind of thud into it. Let's see, with 95 defense, it definitely can take on Ghost type moves. Normal type moves thud into it, ground type move it's immune to, so I think it's going to be really solid Ubers. Moltres, Poison Flying, also, I think we've seen one of those before in Fearow, so it's only at least as good as, if not better than Fearow, for sure. 580, base stat total is really good, 135 attack is crazy, and it has no stats that are just straight up bad, either. It is competing with all the base 90s. If I were to go back, I might like tweak its special attack, make it 89, then give it 91 base speeds, just so that it outspeeds, just so that it can say that it can. Aeroblast and Sludge Bomb plus Toxic, I mean everything gets Toxic in Gen 3, so that's not really a standout. Agility, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think unfortunately Moltres might be another OU Pokemon, meaning I will have to expand the tier list again. My apologies. Well, before I expand it, let me give you a look at what it's currently looking like. So there it is. Alright, I will expand the tier list, and then I'll come back. Okay, and finally, last but not least, Dragonite getting its own special little section in the video here. 91 HP, solid. It's got solid bulk all around. Really good attack. 134. That's about like the third highest we've seen. We've seen like Chansey, which is just an outlier. 135 is pretty much the highest, and it has, on par with that. 80 base speed is kind of middling, but as you've surely guessed by now, it definitely has access to Dragon Dance. Stab, Earthquake, always a solid option. It can use Strength as rock type coverage. I think it gets Brick Break. Yeah, it gets Brick Break for fighting coverage in case it needs it, but more importantly, or more interestingly, I think it gets the combination of Own, Tempo, and Outrage. I don't really see this being used very often since its special attack is worse than its physical attack, but I mean, it's pretty much Garchomp, right? Like, it's pretty much, Dragon Dance, Earthquake. Actually, Garchomp doesn't get Dragon Dance, so it's pretty much Flygon, I guess. But, like, Flygon, but actually good, maybe? I don't know. I think it might be oppressive enough against all the Sun and Rain teams, right, that it gets sent to Ubers. I think that's fair. And also, I don't want to expand the tier list anymore. Alright, so with that said, let's hide yet another Pokemon editor here, and here we see the final completed tier list, right? So let's full screen this, and that's it. That's gonna be the tier list. I'm actually gonna screenshot this right now. So yeah, that's it. We've got a lot of OU Pokemon. That's kind of what I was aiming for, right? Making every Pokemon at least somewhat viable. We've got a couple of Pokemon that might be good in a playthrough, but not in competitive. And then like just like bottom of the barrel, like we have Route 1 Pokemon, Parasect, Onix, and Ditto. Like that's pretty much what you expect. Not even I, in all my infinite power, like able to change anything I want in the game, could salvage these Pokemon. So that's gonna be it. I'm not sure what I'll do for my next playthrough, which is a lie. I know exactly what I'm gonna do for next playthrough, but I'm gonna pretend that I'm not sure so that you can comment and tell me what you want me to do for my next playthrough. But until then, thank you for watching, and goodbye.